Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yemi Osinaike. I'm a consultant pediatrician, and I'm also the campus lead for the Covenant Nation Ikeja campus that we fondly refer to as the House of Transformation. Welcome to another episode of Cradles and Cuddles. And this is where my life as a pediatrician intersects with my life as the campus pastor. This is where we speak to the mothers and the parents, not just the mothers, because we've had the father as well, talking to them about the reality of raising children, looking at their fears, their anxieties, the myth generally around raising children, but also re-emphasizing our faith as Christians, and also balancing this from the professional context as a pediatrician. Where does our fears and our anxiety stand in God's word, and what advice can we glean from the experience of mothers who have gone ahead? And one of the concerns mothers usually have when I talk to them in my capacity as a pediatrician, particularly when they're on that maternity leave period, is the anxiety about going back to work. A lot of myth about how soon should you go back to work after delivery, what are the expectations that have been placed on mothers by the society and by different communities, and how best have they handled it. And with me this afternoon, not this morning, but this afternoon, is one wonderful daughter of God who has been through this journey of pregnancy, maternity, and is on this wonderful journey of motherhood, not once, not twice, third time now, three times, and three boys. So right. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself, and then we'll kickstart the conversation.
All right, thank you very much, Pastor Yemi. My name is Omoleri Oyiku, and I co-found a luxury travel company. I'm a mother of 3 boys and a wife to an amazing man. The last man came about 2 years ago now. 3 years. 3 years ago. Yes, so he's 3.
So he's a big man now.
Yeah,
perfect
he's a big man
year.
now.
3.
Yes.
Let me not say what they refer to 3-year-olds as in the pediatric setting.
Toddlers.
But let's talk. They call them toddlers, but some doctors call them terrible 3, because that's when they start to undergo a lot of self-discovery and attitude and tantrums, and they also. But 3 is wonderful. So let's talk to me a little bit. So you are an entrepreneur. You run your own business.
Yes.
When you had your first, were you already running your business, or you were in paid employment?
I was already running my business when I had my first.
What were some of the anxieties you had about when you realized you were pregnant, how this would impact your work schedule, and did these anxieties translate into real experiences, or they were just at the best just myth? And
all right. So I usually say that I can't talk about my motherhood journey without, so you know of 3 children, you know of 3 pregnancies, but we actually had a twin pregnancy that we lost.
Oh wow. So
I can't talk about my motherhood journey without referring to that. Now, not out of regret, but out of gratitude, because God took us through a journey of healing, a journey of births, really, right? So when myself and my husband got married, and within the 1 year, we got pregnant and realized I was pregnant with twins. So of course we were happy. There was a lot of banter. I was fine physically. I felt very okay up until when I was 5 months pregnant, and I'd gone for a checkup with the gynae, and he said everything was fine and scheduled me for my next visit. But out of curiosity, myself and my husband wanted to just check out what's the sex. He was saying, 2 boys. Me, I was saying boy and girl. So there was just that banter. And then we went to another hospital to just check the sex of the children. And that's where we got the shock of our life. And they said, your babies are not breathing. I'm like, ow. Like how do you just tell me that, right? And that's a whole long story, but we went through that process. I had to go through an evacuation. So before that, I was working in paid employment. So before that, I had already envisioned in my mind, I had made inquiries from the HR. Okay, can I possibly get more than 3 months, because I don't see myself going back to work after 3 months and having 2 babies as a first time mom. So I had made that inquiry. They had said, oh, after 3 months, maybe I could go on an unpaid leave. So I was really open to that, because I'm like, I don't mind taking 6 months off work and all that. And then after that, like, I was doing business by the side. So I also had a mind of, okay, I might just go into business fully. Anyway, when the loss happened, and there were a lot of questions, why did this happen and all of that, but God took us through a journey of healing, and with that came gratitude that yes, the babies went, but I'm alive. And just around that same period, I had heard of women who had just slumped, someone pregnant, and she just slumped and died. And on checking, they realized that, oh, the baby had died earlier. So she didn't know. So for us, it was like gratitude, like, thank God we had banter that we could even go and check and realize, because if we had waited till the next appointment, maybe something else could have happened. True. Right? So at that point, we're filled with gratitude, but also at that point was when I also decided that I didn't even want to go back to work anymore, even when I get pregnant again. So right after that, put in my resignation. I did a job I really liked, but then I also wanted to do business, and my passion was more in the business line. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm not just going to wait till I have another baby. I'm just going to go into business. So put in my resignation, and then around that same time, got pregnant again. Now, when I got pregnant again, those fears came back, because now my parents, everybody is on me. My parents are medical people, so everybody was just very cautious. Oh, hope you're fine, hope you're taking your meds. And unconsciously, that fear would subtly come in, like, hope the same thing that happened before is not going to happen again. But how I counter that fear is by speaking. By speaking, because pastor has always, since then, we're not attending TCN, by the way, but since we started attending TCN, pastor had always said, you don't react to fear by saying God forbid in your mind. You have to say it out. I shall not die. You have to say what God has promised you through his word. And so that's what we held on to. So even all through the pregnancy, where sometimes I'm feeling like, is the baby moving and all that, I tell my husband, and we immediately begin to start speaking God's word. As we have carried our babies as we have carried our baby in my womb, we shall carry our baby in our hands. And we continue speaking God's word. We shall deliver safely, nothing shall happen to our baby. And that's what carried us all through the process. At that time, I was now in business, so there was no anxiety of how do I get back to work, because I knew that I had control over my time. And what I was doing was something I loved doing, so I was even ready to go back to work immediately, actually. But yes.
What I hear correctly, the loss of the babies gave birth to this, or caused you to come into this season where the business had to be born as well.
Yes.
And out of gratitude. And then obviously the fear of the previous loss hovered around you, but by speaking, you were able to come to a successful birthing of your baby. Talk to me a little bit more about how then did you ease yourself, because I'm sure not only were your parents concerned, you also wanted to go back to work, but being mindful of having a newborn baby.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you had to put in place that enabled you still think of working? Because you are self-employed, but that didn't still remove the fact that you needed to earn a living. You loved what you were doing, but what adjustments did you have to make in terms of work scheduling, trying to, and something that can be even more difficult running your own business? You have to then make the sales and everything.
Yes.
What adjustments did you make that anyone having a baby and is in that self-employed space has to deal with?
All right, thank you. So for me, I think what really helped me is because I had a good support system. First of all, my number one support system was my husband. Like, my husband is someone who is very hands-on. So for both of us, in our own case, like, our marriage and parenting is a partnership. So there's no case of, oh, this is your role and you're just left to do it. Several times, right from our first son, and even till our third son, our last son, even till our last son, it was a case of parenting for us was partnership, full partnership, where in the nights I could actually sleep and he wakes up to take care of the baby. In the mornings, like I had CSs for my 3 pregnancies, so in the mornings when I can't bend, I can't take a bath for the baby, he does that.
Wow.
Like he was there doing that. My mom was also always around, at least for the first month when after I gave birth, so she was also a great source of help as well. And my husband and my mom, they helped out. They did a lot of heavy lifting, right? I know that this might not be the reality for everybody, but in my own case, my husband did a lot of heavy lifting. So for me, the first pregnancy, it was an emergency CS, and then subsequently we just had to do a CS, right? And as you well know, like there's the recovery process after CS. So there are actually times I cried. I'm like, what is this? But my husband was just right beside me. When I want to lie in the bed, he's there to help me carry my leg up when I can't carry it up and all that. So it was really a strong support system for me. But I like to say also that to women who, might not have that support, they can, I don't know, I think they can, try and align stuff. Like right now, there are ways to like hire nannies. Then you can hire nannies, you can actually ask for help. So women should always try to seek for help and not try to do everything by themselves. No, you cannot be a superwoman. Like I always say, like God did not call you to be a superwoman. You should get help if you need help. So even if it's not family helping you and you need to pay for help, you can pay for help and actually get help. You can outsource house chores, you can outsource cooking, you can get people to come and clean for you, so at least you don't have to do all of that work yourself and then get overwhelmed by that.
Did you think that pregnancy, did you ever get any part of the pregnancy journey where you felt you had to lower your expectation in terms of what you'll be able to achieve work-wise after you delivered, or while you're nursing the baby? Did you think, last year I was making X, Y amount of revenue, this year maybe has come, I can't be as active in that space, let me lower my, or did you still push yourself into that space of we still have to make?
Okay, so I would say I didn't particularly lower my expectation, but I think I had the understanding of seasons. So life is in seasons, right? So I didn't have the expectation like, oh, what I was doing when I was not pregnant, I should still be doing this when I'm pregnant or when I have a baby. No, like everybody should wait.
Of seasons.
Everybody should just wait. Like I will take my time. So I think really mothers should learn to, embrace the season they are in. Life is in seasons. You can't expect to be as strong as you are at every point in time. Like you just had a baby. Like just calm down. You don't have to do everything. So
adjust your scheduling as appropriate.
So adjusting your scheduling, get help where you need to get help. If you're running a business, delegate. I mean, delegation is very key. So you delegate to other people to handle stuff and you just relax. And if things don't go the way you want to, it's okay. I mean, God still got you.
Do you think the whole concept around maternity leave, more conversation needs, I mean, you were in paid employment and all of those conversations, I'm sure, around maternity leave. What conversation would you advise someone who is pregnant in paid employment to start to have early with an employer, with a view of what the maternity period can look like, so that you don't feel like you're going to lose out on your career, but at the same time you want to take care of this little one?
Yeah. So I think that people in paid employment can actually begin to ask if that's what they want, if they can get extended maternity leave, right? Beyond the 3 months, what's the possibility of getting maybe 4 months or 5 months or 6 months? That's one. Also, what's the possibility of maybe now, I mean, since after COVID, there's a lot of remote work. So what's the possibility of working remotely or working hybrid, not having to come to the office every single day, so that you know that, okay, at least I'm at home? Because I feel like one of the things that helped me, even though I was not in paid employment, I had the liberty to work from home. So I could work from home, I could be looking at my baby, he's playing, when it's time to feed him, I feed him, and then I continue my work. Do you get? But for someone in a paid employment can have that conversation of, okay, can I possibly work remotely for the next 3 months after the first 3 months maternity leave, and still deliver, and of course also ensure that you deliver what you're supposed to deliver on. And then also consider, I know like now a lot of companies, well, I think a lot of companies are also looking at having spaces in their office where people can bring their children. Like myself and my husband actually have plans for that in our own company. We actually have a room set aside. We're not done with the setup yet, but where people who give birth after their maternity leave, they can come with their children. We plan to have nannies there that will take care of the children at least from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
That's
and
wonderful.
then so that way the mother can focus on the work that they need to do and still also knowing that their children are in good hands.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And to every expectant and every nursing mother, one of the clear things here is that you don't have to lower your expectation in terms of the output of your performance, but you must also recognize that there are different seasons. There will be the season where, because of the physical exertion, you can't be as productive. Don't beat up yourself. Embrace that season. And you can always ask God for strength.
Yes.
You can always ask God for strength. Do not be afraid. Also, to have conversations with your employer. If for those who are in paid employment, ask them what adjustments can be made to accommodate your pregnancy. And I believe that these are some of the conversations that people in paid employment are sometimes afraid to have. You can have those conversations. You can continue to pray and talk to God, and you can continue also to seek the support of a community around you. Remember, in Cradles and Cuddles, we believe strongly that God has absolute confidence in the investment that He has placed in your hand, called that boy, that girl. God has absolute confidence. There'll be times when you feel overwhelmed. There'll be times when you feel like, what am I even doing? But God has absolute confidence. The same way He had the faith to put Jesus in the hands of Mary, and she did an excellent job. You are doing an excellent job. You will turn out right. Your child will turn out right, and it will not be at the cost of your health. It will not be at the cost of your business, because the blessing of the Lord makes rich and adds no sorrow to it. So we'll meet the next time on Cradles and Cuddles. God bless you and continue the amazing work you are doing. And I thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Allow me bully you to do one of the things you don't like doing so often. God bless you. God bless you guys.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.